Hi students, today I am going to start another topic of Unit 2, that is lattices. That is, what is the definition of a lattice and what are the different types of lattice. So I am going to discuss about the lattices in detail. So what is the definition of a lattice? A lattice is a poset. Already we know that the poset means it must satisfy the three properties, that is RAT rat. RAT rat it means R means reflexive, A means antisymmetric and T means transitive property. So first of all, a lattice is a poset. It must satisfy the following three properties, that is rat, reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, in which each pair of elements has least upper bound and greatest lower bound. Here it must have least upper bound and greatest lower bound, then it is called as a lattice. So the definition of a lattice is a lattice is a poset. Poset means it must satisfy the three conditions in which each pair of elements. So in which each pair of elements has the least upper bound and greatest lower bound, then it is known as a lattice. Or simply we can say that a poset is called a lattice if it has both MSL and JSL. What is the meaning of MSL means? Meet semi-lattice and JSL means joint semi-lattice. So it must have the both mid semi-lattice and joint semi-lattice, then it is also called as a lattice. Mid is denoted by R symbol. It is the greatest lower bound. And joint is denoted by the and symbol. It is the least upper bound. So here we have the notations of greatest lower bound and least upper bound. Greatest lower bound means it is denoted by R symbol, and least upper bound means it is denoted by and symbol. So this we have to put in mind that greatest lower bound means R symbol and least upper bound means and symbol. So what is the meaning of a minimal number or lower bound? Lower bound means like p less than or equal to is a poset. Here poset means it must be have less than or equal to. It is the condition is it must be less than or equal. Let p less than or equal to is a poset, an element. I am taking an element y belongs to p. Then it's called a minimal number of p if for all x belongs to p, y is less than x. Here if y is less than x, then it is called as a lower bound or minimal number. Now we know the definition of a maximal number or upper bound. What is the definition of upper bound? Easily we can guess it. So here y less than x means minimal number. Maximal number means this is the reverse. X less than y is called as maximum. So we see the definition of a upper bound now. See upper bound or maximal number or upper bound. Let p less than or equal to is a poset. An element y belongs to p is called as a maximal number of p if for all x belongs to p, y is greater than x. If y is greater than x, then it is called as a upper bound or maximal number. If x less than y, then it is called as a minimal number. If y less than x is called as a minimal number. If y greater than x is called as a maximal number. So these are the definition of maximal number and minimal number. Here I have given some examples of a minimal and maximal. Here, first of all, he has given a diagram here. In this diagram, least upper bound is. Here, I will not consider about the L. Here I will see UB. UB means upper bound. Upper bound. What is the up here? D. So least upper bound is this L. I will not consider. If I consider L, then I may be get a simple problem. I may confuse. So I will simply see UB. UB means upper bound. Here in this problem, upper bound is D. Next, lower bound, greatest to lower bound. Lower bound means A. So you put in a mind that least upper bound means D here, and greatest lower bound is A. That means upper bound is D and lower bound is A. Similarly here, upper bound is A and lower bound is 5. So these are the examples of minimal and maximal. Minimal means here we have to put in mind that upper bound and lower bound. Least upper bound is D in this figure and greatest lower bound is A. And in this figure, least upper bound is A and greatest lower bound is 5. So these are the examples of minimal and maximal. Now next I am going to define another definition is Boolean algebra and Boolean function. So what is the definition of a Boolean algebra and what is the definition of a Boolean function? So a complemented and a distributive lattice. Here the lattice must be complemented and distributive. Already I know that what is the definition of complemented. Complemented means a plus b equal to b plus c. Distributive means a plus b plus c equal to a plus b plus a plus c. We already know this in previous charts. So a complemented and distributed lattice B comma star, here is it is an exclusive symbol. Whatever the symbol we can use, we can take any symbol. 0 comma 1 is called as a Boolean algebra. When this is called as a Boolean algebra, if it is complemented and distributed lattice, so it is called as a Boolean algebra. Here, in this example, B equal to 0, 1 is a Boolean algebra. B equal to 0, 1 is a Boolean algebra. Here we consider star and exclusive symbol are binary operations. So these are operations. That means in place of these operations, if you want, we can take plus or minus or division or any operation we can take. So these are two binary operators. Binary means we already know. Binary means two. So these are the two operations. In this place of this star, I can take plus or minus or division or multiplication. In the place of this exclude, I can take plus or minus or into or division. Here it consists of a greatest lower bound and least upper bound. Here the greatest lower bound is 0 and the least upper bound is 1. So this is the definition of a Boolean algebra. So definition is a complemented and distributed lattice B comma star exclusive 0 comma 1 is called as a Boolean algebra. Here B equal to 0 comma 1 is called as a Boolean algebra, and here I am having 2, that is it consists of greatest lower bound 0 and least upper bound is 1. So this is the definition of a Boolean algebra. Now what are the properties of a Boolean algebra? Now properties are idempotent law. A star A equal to A exclusive A equal to A. Commutative A star B equal to B star A plus B equal to A exclusive B equal to B plus A. So these are some of the properties. And I am having other properties also. So it is associative law. A star B star C equal to A star B star C. Associative means simply I have to adjust the brackets, that's enough. Associative means I have three elements ABC, three variables ABC. They are separated by brackets. So this is associative law. A plus B or A exclusive B exclusive C equal to A exclusive B exclusive C. Next, absorption law. A star A circle A exclusive B equal to A star exclusive A star B equal to A. Already I know about the distributive law. A star B exclusive C equal to A star B exclusive A star C. Next, A exclusive B star C equal to A exclusive B star A exclusive. So these are some of the properties of the Boolean algebra. Now, Boolean expression. What is the definition of a Boolean expression? The definition of a Boolean expression is a Boolean expression in variables. Here I am taking the variables x1, x2, so on, xn up to n is a finite string of symbols formed in the following rules. So a Boolean expression must satisfy the following rules. The following rules are here 0 and 1 are called as Boolean expressions. Here 0 and 1 are always called as Boolean expressions. Now x1 to xn are called as Boolean expressions. X1 to xn are also called as Boolean expressions. If I take alpha 1 and alpha 2 are Boolean expressions, then it must satisfy the two conditions, two operations, two binary operations. Alpha 1 star alpha 2, next alpha 1 exclusive alpha 2 are also Boolean expressions. So these are the definitions of a Boolean expression. So it must satisfy the following condition, then it is called as a Boolean expression. So this is the definition of a Boolean expression. Now recurrence relation. What is the definition of a recurrence relation? A recurrence relation for a sequence. That means I have to take a sequence AN. AN means it consists of elements A0, A1, A2, so on, AN. Sequence means we already know that A0, A1, A2, so on, AN are called as sequences. So a recurrence relation for a sequence AN is an equation that expresses AN in terms of one or more previous terms. That means it expresses in terms of one or more previous terms of a sequence. So, namely, I already know that A0, A1, A2, so on, An minus 1. That is before An, I have An minus 1 for all integers n. And here n is greater than or equal to n0. So, n0 is a non-negative integer. If it is a negative integer, then a recurrence relation will not form. So, it is a non-negative integer. A sequence is called a solution of a recurrence relation if its term satisfies the recurrence relation. If the term satisfies the recurrence relation, then it is also called as a solution of a recurrence relation. So this is about the recurrence relation. Now, in other words, a recurrence relation is like a recursively defined sequence. It is a recursively defined sequence, but without specifying any initial values. That means it will not specify any initial condition. Then also we can say it is a recurrence relation. Therefore, the same recurrence relation can have multiple solutions. That means we can take many solutions, multiple solutions by this. If both the initial conditions and recurrence relations specified, then it is uniquely defined or it is uniquely determined. So this is the information about the recurrence relation. These are the some of the definitions of recurrence relations. And now some of the examples. If I take a recurrence relation, it will give a relation. In the relation, I can put a values n equal to 2, 3, 4, etc. and so on. If I consider in place of n, if I take 1, we should not consider, we should not take 0. Why? Because if I take 0, then the recurrence relation does not satisfy. So I will take from 1 or I can take from 2, n equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. So I will place the value of n in this equation. Then I will place the value, if I place the value in this equation, then it must give again our function, that is a. So therefore it is called as a solution of a recurrence relation. So we can take any example and we can take the values of n and we can find out the recurrence relation easily. So in this equation also an equal to 5 is a recurrence of the same relation. Here n value must be greater than or equal to 2. In recurrence relation here, in this n value is greater than or equal to 2, then on substituting these values on the same recurrence relation, we get a solution. Therefore, it is a recurrence relation. So, this is about the recurrence relation and this is about the lattices and